What time to call this, you know, Max?
Sorry, brother. You know what it was? There was traffic on the there was traffic and
Traffic everywhere.
yeah, but I didn't have the was is that app and my phone died and it's all a madness, bro. But man's here now, innit? How's the show?
Show was really good, you know. Okay. Really good. It's just the latest. That's, you know what I mean. Picking me up now is just a bit late, but we're working.
Why does madness still go on like? I'm not white, bro. I'm not white. Let's go.
They're trying to shut my team down, so I'm out here trying to shut the system down. Ain't having this freedom, I practice this. Everybody in the ends knows I'm an activist. Fuck the medication, I'm a naturalist. Higher education wrapped in my vegetable dish. Don't know this is Talapaton, a Mad Max shit. Straight revolutionary on a conscious tip. Boy, I'm looking so fresh and I ain't new to this. Everybody watching Talapaton, they glued to this. Conspiracy facts, man, are proving this. They wanna know the bigger picture, got the clues for this. Cause when the end time come, you better stand up, no man. Cause when this revolution come, just remember, it's my view and my view only. If you don't like it, come out the way.
It's Max, the cab driver. If we need a lift, I'll take you there. I might even chat to you and give you a cool interview. Talking all types of things like media.
So what about Talapaton? Look, why Talapaton? What Talapaton?
Talapaton.
But why Talapaton? Where you get that from?
Well, everyone's got these Crazy G and Donny B's and all these.
And Young G.
All these names that like. And you know what? I Talapaton from when I was young, you know.
So where did it come from?
Come from me, man. Come from Talapaton. But listen, you see, if you break it down, you have Tala.
Tala?
Patan. Like style and pattern, style and fashion. So you have Tala. So you know, for people that can't say Talapaton, they say Tala. But Talapaton. Style and pattern.
I've known you for a while now, and you've been you know, you watch some man from afar and you're thinking, what is he doing? And then you see what they're doing and you're thinking, you know what, this man is just consistent in terms of your behavior, how you operate, how you go on, and everything. But you see my problem at the moment, bro, it's the world that we live in at this particular moment is absolutely, I don't know what the word to describe it.
Addicted to drama.
Whoa, okay. It's addicted to drama, it's addicted to everything that ain't positive and moving forward. And I know that you've got to have the balance between the the right and the wrong, or nothing works in life, like the plug. You know, you got to have the negative and positive to make it work. But I don't know if there's a balance anymore. And I'm just feeling like I just want to done everybody's dance. Like, but when I see someone like yourself, and you're mixed between the culture, so I know enough people get confused. I know people think, hold on, what's going on here? But to me, it doesn't matter. When I see a person like yourself, certain people, I won't mention any names.
Yeah.
Just take it for a libby and grant and just don't appreciate and pay homage to where the cultures come from originally. So, how do you feel being? Because you are white, innit?
Of course.
Right, and you are British, innit?
English.
Same thing, innit? Innit, same thing.
No, man, two different things.
Ah, you are English, innit?
I'm an Englishman by island. I have nothing to do with the British Empire and what they caused and all the fuckery they caused on the planet. I have nothing to do with the British Empire. I do not align to the Queen. I do not align to none of that. I'm an Englishman by island. And that's it.
But you've taken on another culture as well.
Another island.
So explain it. Explain that, but at the same time, how you feel in this world. Could you see what's going on, bro? Man, I'm a policeman taking out black boys.
Yeah.
We're less of the country, like we're 3% of the country, but we ran the jails. And we're looked upon in society as the, I don't care what people want to say, but we're not looked on good. Do you get what I'm saying? No one wants to really do business and we don't really do this. But how do you see, I don't know, how do you, from your perspective as a white Englishman that's paying homage to a next culture, where do you see yourself at the moment? Where do you see yourself fitting? What's going on?
I see myself exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be sitting there, engaging in communities, talking about controversial subjects, talking about the issue of black and white people, because the situation has never been dealt with. The conversation has never been put to rest. The history books have never been changed. No one's really ever given no credits back to black people and the history of the planet. So when you hear a lot of white people saying, oh, you know, we just need all to get along. Yeah, of course we fucking do. Yeah? Of course we fucking do. Yeah, you should have told your great granddad, your great granddad and great granddad should have been saying that. Now we're not. Now this is the time to heal, and the way we only heal is by talking and discussing these controversial subjects, and it's the only way to start to heal. If you keep sweeping it under the carpet and black people are still being shot, killed, and the stereotype of black people and white people is still being divided and conquered by the ruling white elite, we're not really going to get anywhere. So if people like myself, especially like the white guys that are into the black culture, whether if you have a black wife, mixed race kids, you like the food, you like the country, you like the music, whatever it is you're doing, if you're involving yourself multiculturally, it is like you have to speak up. You have to talk for white people. You have to defend white people. You have to do a lot of different things, and it's this time and age that we need to engage with each other on a much more conscious level. So
what do you tell your white counterparts then? Like when because we can have this conversation with. I know that we can have this conversation level, but what do you actually tell Jim and Dave?
White people are still racist, even though they're not racist. It's been indrummed in them so far they can't even see it. Now, like if young white guys, young Daves and Bobs and Bills and Bens, yeah, when I'm talking to them and they're telling me about the Muslim man and Muslims and terrorists and this and that, and I'm saying to them, so what do you think about black man then? And they're saying, no, you know what?
Yeah, right.
No, son. No, I've had a bit of Keisha and, you know what I mean? I've done it. I've got no problems with black people. But the Muslims, but I'm telling them, but hold on a minute. I'm telling them, yeah, but how comes your great-grandfather fell for the same trick, that the black man was the enemy, and they didn't even know him. And now they're telling you that the Muslim man is your enemy and you don't even know him. It's the same trick by the same people, because if the trick is so good, it always tricks the next generation if they're not educated about it. You understand? So these young white people are being tricked that the Muslim man and the terrorism and a man with a beard and a man in a mosque is the enemy. Same when they was looking at Rasta man, looking at black man stand up for his rights, looking at black people trying to engage with white women because there was no other women around at the time. You understand? So you have to understand that the trick has been so good and has been drummed into white people for so long that we don't even see it for ourselves. We can't see it other than what it is. And we still got get racism out of football and all these different things. Yet it's still on the edge of our tongue. Put a Muslim geezer next to your house, yeah, it's gonna drip off of your tongue. You can see it. You can see his bottom lip shaking because he can't believe it. Can't believe it. I hear it all the time. But the thing is, these guys, they don't sit down and have food with Muslims. They never chatted to a Somalian girl. They don't, you know what I mean? Most of their kebab shops and Turkish shops and all these shops have been Muslim, and they've been Muslim for a long bloody time. But now suddenly you're gonna watch a couple geezers on a TV show and think that now you're gonna tarnish everybody. That is white supremacy. That white supremacy when you're gonna tarnish everybody. What? All black? Right, that's it.
So what about within your immediate family? How did they respond to it? Because
my family are not racist because my mum's with a black man now. That doesn't mean shit still. Yeah? Like I'm trying.
Why can't you be my dad? Nah, take it.
Like, so it's like my mum was into. Look, my mum used to go Caribbean when I was little. Do you know what I mean? And my mum's been into the whole culture. And me and my sister grew up listening to the music.
And that's why you are now.
Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? And then my children will be even more engaged. Even more, and that's the healing process. So that when they stand around black people from anywhere, even the small islands to the big islands to the African continents to wherever they are, they'll be able to engage with them because they understand themselves and understand what it is to engage with people of culture. And when I'm talking about culture, we're talking about the whole range of it.
So how do we heal, bro? How do we actually heal? How do I go about? Is it just talking?
Right,
is it just talking?
White people,
too much talking.
I hear this in the black community, too much talking. But in the white community, we're not talking. Because at the end of the day, like, if black people are the only ones talking about it, it doesn't get solved. Because at the end of the day, you're up against a white supremacy system that is already built and planned for this whole game. So the only way to overthrow this system, in a sense, is to have the white man on side. And we're not talking about start getting, the certain white people, but the genuine white population that are just going to work and coming home and trying to pay bills like anyone else is trying to do. We all need to come together and engage and see it. But white people are struggling to see the true enemy for themselves, because they can't see the white man as their own enemy. For black man, it's very easy to see that it's a white judge, it's a white police officer, it's a white slave owner, it's a white guy. That's always the enemy. It's very clear. The guideline is very clear. For us, it's funny because white people, we don't trust police, we don't trust our government. But if you tell us that someone in Afghanistan wants to go to war, but suddenly we're all back in the government and we're all back in the MPs. But on the same, man, we don't trust them, so we can't see our own enemy within us. And that is ours.
Are you scared talking like this, or do you?
No,
what made you
this.
get like? What? It's still scary though. It's still a thing of you're standing against something that ain't the norm. I've never had in my lifetime of being on this earth.
The truth is, it's the norm.
It's our norm.
It's the norm. And the thing is, the people that are trying to go, I don't know about it. It's all just get along.
Come on,
anyway.
let's get along.
That's not the norm. The norm is to discuss it, to talk about it, and not only to talk about it, to learn about it. Because I might say something and you say, no, Tala, you know what? And I'll be able to say, oh, you know what, Max? I don't know, so I'm going to have to take a word for it. And then that's the only way we learn. Because remember, people don't listen. Sometimes they're just waiting to talk next. So you have to listen. And reasoning is the art of it. And reasoning actually is the white man having to shut up for a second and listen to the destruction that he's caused on the planet. Yeah, and the generation still living within that destruction. And accept that that's what's happened. And not only just accept it and then try and move on, we have to start healing. Because the white man wants to try and live on Mars before the planet's even free of energy. Like that's where they want to go. They want to be living on Mars, and people ain't even free on. No, not everyone's got a house yet. I used to think the government when I was younger. Yeah, I used to think, okay, so what's the end game for the government?
Yeah.
What's the end game?
Yeah.
Like everyone ends up having a house and it's all free energy and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I realised there's nothing like that. There is no goal end game like that.
It just keeps going.
It just keeps going and keeps going, and the way that they keep going.
I always think there's that one man in one room that runs everything.
Makes everything. No,
yeah.
no.
You don't think so?
I think there's probably. I think there's a club of
dude.
300. I think there's a club of 300.
But you've got to be on the same thinking.
You got to be in them families. You got to be in them families, man. You got to be in them families.
You say 300. See, I
the club 300. The Council on Foreign Relation, the Bilderberg Group, and I'll tell you what it is. Yeah, is that business is what is killing people. Because at the end of the day, governments and people can be held, but a business can go and cause destruction on another man's planet and land. And it gets through business, and they can just liquidate it, and no one's really held accountable for it because it was a bad business idea or whatever it is. Because corporations have been controlling and maintaining it, and what the elites have done has gone from country and gone into corporations, and now translating corporations now are the running it, and they've been running it. I mean, they're poisoning us, they're educating us, they're doing everything to us. Whilst we're sitting there still trying to talk about, you know what I mean, the problems that's been happening in the last 300-400 years.
They're well ahead of.
They're well ahead of it. They're already talking about Mars.
As a black person, looking over us now, how we're dysfunctional and we can't unite. What do you think Yes, you said yourself.
I'll tell you what, yeah.
What do we as
black people need to start holding white people accountable. You need to start holding your white brethren accountable, your white partners accountable. Anyone who's white, yeah, who wants to be involved in the black community, who don't want to talk about it, who don't want to engage about slavery. I was just born the other day. I just woke up the other day. Slavery had nothing to do with me. But if you look at the raw elements of white and black people and the history of the planet and why slavery even existed, and why it still goes on today. The truth of it is, black people built and ruled the planet long before the Europeans even came along. When they come to Africa, they saw astonishing things. They didn't know what to do. It's okay to accept that black people was supreme on the planet, that they had civilizations beyond our capability today. The whole reason the war against black people is because they are inferior to themselves. I do not feel inferior, Max, to say that the black man is better. Because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. White people can't run faster than 10 seconds.
It's true. Be able to one day.
But, yeah, never! But then the black man will be running 8 seconds, you know? Like, so it's going to be, you know, certain things you can joke about and there's certain things you can't lie.
Some of this is written in the
It's written, the stuff is written, and the white man has kept the secret on the lid. Because he's been using black history and black knowledge for day one, and he never wants to ever give the credits back to black people. Even though black people now, I don't think they knew in the 60s and 70s and the 1800s the truth. Now they know Egypt was built and ruled. They know that there's ancient cities under the sea built by black people. They know that everywhere they dig, they find black faces. You can't run from it, blood.
Try to take off the
Even when
nose.
they get to Namaz, they're gonna find black faces still. And the truth of it is that white people need to accept this, and it doesn't mean that you're a weak white person and you're a nobody and it doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you're accepting the truth of what it is. This dog is bigger than this dog. It can run faster. This dog is probably a better dog. We're not saying that white people are not good and white people can't do this and white people are not intelligent and white people are not. We're not saying any of that. We're not saying any of that.
You're not done well so
this,
far.
That's what I'm saying. So what we need to do is fucking allow black people to be free, to go and do what they need to fucking do. And the truth of it is, Max, at the same time, as much as I hear black people talking about they're disconnected and this and that, I find that black people are more connected than white people.
Serious?
Yeah, because white people, if I get on a plane and there's two white guys, me and him don't hail up each other. We don't go.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
do that,
secret
blood.
nothing.
Nah.
Oh, swear down.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you lot did that. I thought
We
you lot
don't
did
do that, blood. When I sit around black people, I hear black people trying to raise black people, raise up the awareness of black people and talk about black issues and talk about the problems and talk about white people and talk about, and you know what? The funny thing is, black people still don't fucking hate white people. You got some militant black people that are willing to not give black people a day. Like there's certain man I don't want to hear Talapaton talk at all because they're still pissed off. They don't care. They say, you know what? Just watch him even more because he knows too much. So watch him even more. But that's okay. But black people are still not mad at white people. You know what I mean? If I go to certain parts in Africa, children are still happy to see me.
Boom,
yeah?
boom,
and
bang,
that just shows
boom,
you
bang.
that the people of love on the planet. Because civilization means civilized. Europe has never had a civilization. They was raping children and murdering and there was stuff going on. That's not civilized. And the reason Africa got taken over was because they were civilized. They'd gone beyond war. But when you have gal available and there's fruit and everything's available, knowledge is available, everything's available. What are you fighting over?
They just put the
only fighting is that there is there's an art to fighting. Everything you go back to, it goes back to black people. So the thing is, we need to acknowledge this as a global understanding.
Do you, if you could go back in any part of time now, what time would you go back and why?
If I could go back.
Yeah, if you could go back to any time.
I would like to go back.
And it don't have to be your time of life. I mean,
I would like to go back to when they really saw Africa as a thriving place. The place that we can't even imagine or even know. It's not even written because they hold all the books. Yeah, all there is. You know, like with the Jesus story.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into religion.
Gosh.
You have a lot of faith. With Africa, it's still standing. The stuff is still standing clear as day. Still now. And they're still trying to figure it out. So you don't need no faith. You have documents right there in front of your face. So you can't go around it. Like I said, you can't get around it.
You're 106 years old now and you look back at your life. What would you look back and want to look back and see?
I would want to look back and see that I put a big ripple in time and space. And when we're saying negative, there's going to be so many white people when them comment like, why does he have to talk about that? Because I get the white people, they inbox me.
Swear.
Yeah.
You're right, mate.
They give me the inbox.
Does it feel go right at home?
I think you're great music and that, but yeah, I think we should all just get along and stop talking about it. Really? Oh, okay.
Dave.
Yes, Dave. Big up yourself, Dave. No,
Seriously,
listen,
you get that kind of...
I get that all the time.
What about from our community?
That people tell me to my face. And they say, you know what, Tala? I rate you, you know, because you say certain things, and there's not enough white people that say it and do it and talk it and live it and breathe it. So you can see the conscious perspective of each individual culture. So don't forget, Max, yeah, the black man knows what's going on, the Indian man knows what's going on, the China man knows what's going on, the Arab man knows what's going on, the white ruling elites knows what's going on, but the genuine white public have not got a clue
or don't
what
want
is
to
happening.
know. But like you said,
they don't want
oblivious.
to. They don't have a clue.
Oh,
They don't know, blood, because they don't know.
I'm gonna ask them. That's gonna part, bro. I'm telling
They
you,
don't know what's going on.
Innit?
I asked them.
I feel like to phone one of them now, innit?
Just get them on the phone, bruv.
Julie.
Because you have to call them out, blood. We're in England. There's no other more. You're in a white place. Let's call them out now.
I'm gonna do it. I'm actually
you have
going
to call them out because I tell you what, you see the truth when you see the truth. The truth will be revealed. And if a man doesn't want to talk about it, he's either extremely shy or he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's a fucking racist. That's just it. And when I mean racist, doesn't mean I hate black people. It just means that deep down, he thinks, fucking all black people and Indians, let's all just fucking stop talking about it. All right, we went over there and we done what we fucking did, and it's all over now. All right, get on with it. That's what they say. That's what they say, bruv. And it don't run like that because one man, two strange brothers supposedly flew planes into America, and they invade one man and invade another country just because they look the same. So don't tell me, yeah, that everyone should just get along, because right now the whole planet should turn around and invade England and America and Europe and say, yeah, you're holding accountable. Because look, the jewels are still not being given back. The history books are still not being written. I can't explain it anymore. We're still talking about, there's still 2 documentaries about Africa and be like, yes, well, we don't know what really happened. Go, of course they, listen, you do. You do know what's happened, man. You do. You know what the hell's happened. Yeah, you're in a black continent. You weren't nothing to do with it. So everything that went on here, you had nothing to do with.
But it's, whatever they've done to indoctrinate it, a lot they've programmed, they take them time, and it's now it works. And now
you can see the method in their madness, because 100%. Years later,
and I don't think it can be reversed now. That's
it can, yeah.
That William Lynch letter, that them kind of things there, they really work.
If you look at psychology, if you look at even down to when a man scratches his head, they say that when a man scratches his head, it boils down to a psychological issue of when you fall over as a child and your parents rub your head, it's all right. And when you're a bit nervous, you scratch your head and you touch your head. So they obviously have been working out the human mind. I mean, you look at NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, you look at coverted conversations, the eye patterns, the CIA use. It's all detailed. They've probably known this for a long time.
And you
think like Darren Brown, for instance.
Oh gosh.
Imagine if most of the ruling elites are these type of people, that they can go into rooms and hypnotize people straight away. This is what you're up against. You're up against a group of people that have held information and dominated it and ain't giving it up for no one. You think the white man's gonna go down easy? He will blow up the planet. This is what I'm saying. This is what white people need to understand, because they send us out. You know, listen, the European war, I have to tell the truth because white people don't know the truth. The whole European war was to clear out white people, because there were too many of us, and they know from ancient times that if you have too many ruthless people in your own country, you can be overthrown, because England was overthrown many a time by different clans.
100%.
So they've learnt their lessons. It ain't happening again. We've come too far. So we're gonna have a little war. We're gonna send 2 million over there, and you're 2 million over there, and we're gonna clear up some of these bad boys, clear up some of these villages that have got stuff to say, clear them up, and you're only left with the next generation. And therefore, when after war, everyone just wants peace, and no one wants to talk about let's overthrow the king and the queen and we're hungry anymore. Everyone's just happy that the war is over, and they did that to us. This is our own people who did it to us. Our own people do experiments on us as well. So it's not like we're sitting on a gold throne. White people will never sit on a gold throne, because even in the times when you look at England, when they lived in castles, English people was living in zinc fence outside, bruv, like Robin Hood days.
Yeah.
We never had nothing. Yeah. We was bushmen. Yeah, we was proper bushmen.
Yeah.
How about every Englishman has a right to his castle? How many English people you know that's got a bloody castle? None of them. None of them. So we're saying and speaking things that we don't even know what we're talking about. So, like I said, white people have to study their true history, their true revolt against their true white leaders, and then understand what we've done to other cultures, and not just think, oh, we've gone over there for oil. It's much more than oil and rubies and gold. We've gone to destroy cultures because the white man is inferior to other people. And when I say the white man, I'm not talking about I'm talking about Bob, Bill, Ben. I'm talking about the elite.
Yeah, the elite.
The elites and the elite children of the children and children, because you can trace the slave masters now, and they're still living in big houses they're still there.
They're living off
you can't trace no one back to no one who's just bought a mortgage the other day. They don't exist. They're not even on birth records. Because we was all paupers, we was all poor. My nan who grew up in Old Kent Road, she was born on a table. They never had no money.
Wow.
They used to buy little pieces of fish. You would call it a fish tea in the Caribbean. They used to get little pieces. Everyone ate out of a pot. My nan was the youngest of 9. Everybody ate out of a one pot. So You need to know your own history, people.
Fully support and commend what you're saying.
Only because black people are waiting for white people to finally say something if they're truly about peace and love and unity. Because you can talk about it as much as you want, but at the end of the day, if white people never ever engage and talk about it, and ever like we can march up and down empty buildings with signs all day long, but unless you don't call out your own white people, unless you don't fucking stand up and you start making a stance within your own communities, nothing's gonna change. Because the revolution don't start at 9 and finish at 10. It's 24 hours a day for life, and your next generation. Yeah, it don't stop. Black people inspire me to be me as well. And I'm not frightened to say that, because some people be like, oh, you love black people, you just want to be black. I don't. I'm a proud English white guy. It's rubbish. I can't be black. I'm not trying to be black. Do I enjoy black people? Do I love black people? Of course I do. I love the culture, I love the people, I love the community. When I walk into a room full of black people, I feel happy, you know. I know what I'm dealing with, you know.
That's nice.
But when I walk into in a room full of white people, I know what I'm dealing with. I know that people are going to come up and talk to me, don't want to talk to me. If I walk into a black room and a sister does not want to talk to me, her face will show me. You know what I mean? And it's just beautiful to see.
Yes, Kadisha. Yes, Parlet.
Roxy. But yeah, and you know what? It's like...
That is so true though, isn't it?
Like, and this is the beauty of black people. This is real shit. This is real shit. This is me observing my own white people, and me observing black people, and me observing the Indian man, and me observing everybody. And me going to... And you know how many black people I've sat down at dinner with, and I'm the only white guy in the house, and it's like this and that. And I hear, and I'm thinking, rah, is that what you lot think of white people? Like, rah. Like, we don't know this. We don't even know what you lot really think. And that just shows you how far we've come and how distant we still are from each other.
That's powerful, man.
To get me, because let me tell you something, black people will never make you go hungry, but a white man will buy you alcohol and would never. You want to come to my house and have dinner? Nah, mate. Listen, you can have a couple drinks, but listen, after that, mate, son, you got to crack on and sort your own business out. Black people, yeah, will give you a plate of food, man.
Yeah, and I think we ain't got that, and we're finding
We're finding two piece of bread and yeah,
little dumpling.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it.
That is mad. That is mad. But you hear what? I got things to do now, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I've got some white people to go talk to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah? So I'm talking about the Queen's Head now. So that'll be £5 now, please, Tab. So
for what?
What?
For what?
I just picked you up from a show, and I dropped you. I don't understand the logic of the whole thing. Like,
Neither
naturally,
do I. What do you mean?
You're meant to be good. Like, you're white. You're meant to be like, just give the money already. Usually they pay deposit.
But you said in the song, even if a lift, I'll take you there.
Even if a lift, I'll take you there.
Even if a lift, I'll take you there. You're not even like, you didn't say, give me £5 and I'll take you there. You said, even if a lift, I'll take you there. So I said, let me call Max. It was just the words. The words said it. I don't get it. Anyway, like you said, you got some white people to talk to, and send them my way if they disagree with anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, blood,
I'll take you there.
Even if a lift,
but
I'll take you there.
But I'm a cab driver, so that's what you do. You pay for a cab.
But you said even if a lift, I'll take you there. That's what I said. Let me call Max. 'Cause I only need to go there. I didn't. You know what I mean? I don't like. This is why black and white people need to communicate and talk, so we can understand. We can understand on a deeper level what we're trying to say. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Well, how much do you want, man?
It's £5 for.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want an old £5 notes that you have to go and change in the bank either.
Some shrapnel, some tuppence.
No, you
know
don't
these
keep
words.
Keep that, fam. Keep that.
I don't think I said, man. I want a bomber.
Oh, what is that? Man, come out with some. It's Matt the cab driver. You done know. This is history. Freaking history. Beg no fella, you mean?
It's Max the cab driver. Yo, Me know say me big voucher. Me come a dancer, yes, me know me danger. No style, no lyrics with a spice and flavor. Me laugh and phone when me say eater. Me brush them up like chip on shoulder. Me sing say, tell them already, me go tell them again. Say me nah beg no friend. We say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. Ha, them a hypocrite them. They will stab you in the back, my friend. We sing say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. No real right, he's up on them. On a different level from them.
We no move with informer. Then why they will bring news round the corner? Shot behind me back with Paulette and Lana. Heavenly Father, please move them from around ya. Chuck, be careful of the backstabber. Licky na me money grabber. Never trust nobody with your laba. Whether your best friend or your brother.
We say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. Ha, them a hypocrite them. They will stab you in the back, my friend. We sing say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. No real right, he's up on them. On a different level from them.
Racks. Me not beg no friend when I had no promotion. I didn't know them. When one door closes, another open. I roll with Max, I don't know them. I don't catch emotions. Please, I breeze cross seas and oceans. The crosses and spoil your car's a broken car. Them not like me and when I like them. I show love, I show love. Sometimes they don't recognize that they don't know love. When I needed a favor, when I needed a neighbor, were you there, were you there? If not, me not cater me and then they send from a different fiber. Wouldn't beg a 10 cent, 5 cent fiver. Me not mix with a wagonist, I'm a rider. Them not like me, I me not like them neither.
We say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. Ha, them a hypocrite them. They will stab you in the back, my friend. We sing say tell them again. Say we don't beg no friend. No, we alright, he's up on them. On a different level from them.